Hello everyone, my name is Geeta and welcome to your pick a card reading. So the title of this video is going to be Tarot Answers Your Questions, Yes or No. And I am trying to have a variety of these, so when you guys have a question you want to ask and you don't really have like a pick a card that you can really fall back on, so you can go ahead and ask questions. And plus I think some of you might have already used up the other ones too much, so I am just trying to give you a fresh one, okay? So this is going to be stone number 1 with the heart-shaped clear quartz, stone number 2 with the amethyst, heart-shaped, and stone number 3 with the heart-shaped rose quartz, stone number 4 with the heart-shaped aventurine. Then we have stone number 5 with the round, I'm just going to call it the round amethyst, stone number 6 with the round aventurine, stone number 7 with the round lapis lazuli, and stone number 8 with a round clear quartz crystals. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you could take a moment and pause the video, and I would prefer it if you would use the pendulum. Okay, and I'm going to go over how to use this again, because I really would like this is definitely one of those readings that you definitely want to use a pendulum for. So you're going to take a pendulum, and if you don't have a pendulum, first of all, if you can, order one off of Amazon. They're really inexpensive. They're under $10. You can find them for like a little bit less than $5, $10. You can just use, and usually it's like some kind of crystal that's on here. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. Some of them are just like pointing stones, like pointing down. And to program it, you swing it forward and backwards, or whichever way, doesn't matter. And you program it. You say this way is for yes, which I have it swinging like away from me and towards my body for yes, and then this way is for no. You say this way is for no, and then you stop it, and of course you would have your question in mind. You would think about what you want your question to be, and you say, is the answer, does stone number 1 have my answer? And then it would swing yes or no, so it's saying no. Would stone number 2 have my answer? And it would be saying no, and then maybe it's saying yes, or so saying yes. Stone number 2 might have my answer. Will stone number 3 have the answer to my question? And then it's saying no. I don't even know what my question is, but apparently the answer is stone number 2. Anyways, there might be a message for me or something there. Anyways, but that's how you do it, okay? And if you can't purchase one and you can't hold one, all you have to do is get a ring, some kind of heavy device that you can tie a string to and hold with it like dangling down, and all of that you can use as a pendulum. So anyways, you can go ahead and pause the video and pick out which stone is going to be the answer to your question. And while you're doing that, I would just like to say that if you like this kind of video, please give my video a thumbs up. When you thumbs up this kind of different titles that you like, if you really like these and you want me to do more of them, and you thumb them up, then I know that you definitely want to see more of them. And depending on the ratio that I get will determine, if I actually make more of this type of video title. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. If you would like to have a private reading, you can see how to do that in the video description below. And also in the video description is where you'll find your timestamps for all of these different answers. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's find out if the answer is yes or no to your question. Alright, so here we are with stone number 1, and let's go ahead and find out if the answer to your question is yes or no. And I do these in front of you so you can watch them come out. Alright, so is the answer to stone number 1's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 1's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 1's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 1's question yes or no? I think I'm just going to start pulling 5 cards. Is the answer to stone number 1's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 1's question yes or no? Alright, so the answer is yes. But whatever you asked may not be that happy. Whatever you asked. Judging by the cards. Alright, so we have the moon in the reverse here. Sorry, my throat is messing up on me. And the moon in the reverse. the Knight of Swords in the reverse. Oh boy. We have the Nine of Pentacles, Death, and we have the Three of Swords. So the Moon in the reverse often indicates it's a card for Pisces. I'm gonna name. I probably should name their signs too, so you guys to help you more understand. But the Moon in the reverse can indicate like denial, repressed emotions, or projecting onto other people. Okay, when you have this card, you should be aware of self-deception or self-defeat. Then we have the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is a Taurus Gemini card. Okay, and the Knight of Swords is someone who I say this a lot, someone who kind of suffers from foot and mouth syndrome, someone who is speaking without thinking. They're fighting for the wrong thing. They're retreating from an argument. They could be like an internet troll, someone who's very vengeful, saying vengeful words. It could indicate a retreat from an argument. Is someone who is just mostly, in most cases though, someone who's speaking without thinking and saying the wrong thing. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles is about earned luxury and rewards, being independent and self-sufficient, and being disciplined. That's probably you, or something like that. And then we have Death, and then Death indicates transformation, ending, closure, and a regeneration. So it could be like a caterpillar in a cocoon on the verge of becoming a butterfly. So, but also it can it could indicate an ending of something, you know? So maybe you decide to end something. The person who gets death usually is trying to get rid of, or they thinking that it's time to get rid of something that's no longer useful. But they also have to make sure that they seek closure before moving on. And then we have the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords indicates loss. It can indicate betrayal, sorrow, and even a necessary sacrifice. So anyways, oh yeah, this is a Libra card. My bad. This one's Virgo. This one's Scorpio. I forgot to even. I was doing a thing and then I forgot. And this one's Libra. Alright, so anyways, that's all I have for stone number 1. If you like this kind of reading, please give my video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it and it really helps me out. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you would like to have a private reading, you can see how to do that in the video description below. Alright, well thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead now and move on to stone number 2. Alright, so here we are with stone number 2. Sorry, I can't talk. Here we are with stone number 2 with the heart-shaped, I was trying to say 2 and heart at the same time, with the heart-shaped amethyst. And let's go ahead and find out if the answer is yes or no. So when I do these, I kind of like to draw the cards in front of you so you can see them come out. So let's go ahead and find out if the answer is yes or no. Alright. Please tell me, is the answer yes or no to stone number 2's question? Is the answer yes or no to stone number 2's question? Is the answer yes or no for stone number 2's question? Please tell me, is the answer yes or no for stone number 2's question? Damn, there's some spiritual things going on here. Is the answer yes or no for stone number 2's question? Is the answer yes or no for stone number 2's question? 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer is yes. That's interesting. You know, what's really funny is that it said that I had an answer to some question here, and I could see how that could apply to something, but I don't know what the question is. Maybe it's not me who's asking the question, but maybe someone asking a question about me. So anyways, we have the High Priestess in the reverse, we have the Hierophant, we have the King of Cups in the reverse, we have the Eight of Cups, and we have the Two of Swords. So the High Priestess in the reverse, the High Priestess is a Cancer card. Okay, so the High Priestess in the reverse can indicate like being secretive, so there being like a secret, being withdrawn. It can indicate ignoring intuition, gossip, and being disconnected from your sexuality. But either way, overall this card appears reversed when there's a problem with silence, like having trouble finding the solitude that you need to hear your inner voice. You may be having trouble keeping something quiet for some people, which makes them want to gossip or betray a secret shared in confidence. Or someone could end up using the silent treatment in a conflict. It's like a card that shows up especially like for a woman who is disconnected from her sexuality. Either way, if there's a problem like manifesting, it'll be helped by taking time and space to connect with your emotions and intuition with this card. So then we have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is a Taurus card, and it is in the upright. And this card is about like a teacher, a belief system, knowledge, like religion, spirituality. This is also a spiritual card as well. Because in the upright, this is like inner wisdom and stuff like that. And then in spirituality. And the Hierophant is also about like responsibility. And this is a time, so the Hierophant is like, when it shows up, it's like time to examine your beliefs about something. It can indicate an opportunity to teach something about, or someone something about life. And also can indicate like making a decision based on what you believe you should do. And maybe, are you like tuned into your higher calling? Are you doing what you should do, or what you believe you should do? Something like that. Responsibility. Alright, so then we have the King of Cups in the reverse. And the King of Cups in the reverse can basically be any water sign, but it shows up as Libra, Scorpio. However, I don't know, I get it with Pisces and stuff too. So it can be with any water sign. And the King of Cups in the reverse, well, in the upright, it's about being emotionally mature and calm and being a healer and all that stuff, and being like emotionally composed. In the reverse, it can indicate someone who is being emotionally hardened, intense negative emotion, block emotion, or emotional stress. So this person may seem like an unemotional person, or the person may find their feelings to be like so difficult that they keep them hidden, even from themselves. All right, and then we have the Eight of Cups, okay? And the Eight of Cups can indicate a spirit quest, so like kind of doing something to kind of find yourself, okay? This is also I think this one's Pisces. Yeah, this is a Pisces card, okay? And it can indicate like leaving something behind, taking space, retreat, or travel. Okay, it's a card of like letting go and moving on. And although they might be leaving, it's voluntary, but it's also painful. So they don't really want to leave. It's painful, but there's something they feel like they have to do. Also, it can indicate like taking time alone to contemplate your emotions and decide if leaving is the best route. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the person is leaving altogether, but they might be taking time to figure out if they should be. It could mean literally leaving, like changing homes, ending a relationship, quitting a job, going on a trip to find yourself, leaving behind your hopes and dreams, that kind of thing. It could, this one can appear, this card can appear when you or someone involved is tired of feeling disappointed and hopeless and is ready to look for better things. But the card indicates like craving for a spiritual deepening of some sort. So then we have the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is a Libra card. Okay, and the Two of Swords is about like indecision, basically. For the most part, it shows up when you can't make a decision. Okay, an impartial mediator, a standstill, and this one is putting in, and this can indicate putting off a decision too for the moment. It can feel like, you know, none of the options are, you know, they can't figure out what they want. Like they're weighing the options and neither one of them seem better than the other, so they put off making a decision maybe until they can find, you know, something to help weigh the odds or weigh the balance. Weigh the balance one way or the other more so. This card can also show up that when you're like ignoring your emotions and using logic to deny how you're feeling. You know, like you could be denying the truth or contemplating some aspect of your life in order to not have to deal with it. Alright, so anyways, that's all I have for stone number 2. If you like this kind of reading, please give my video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you'd like to have a private reading, you can see how to do that in the video description below. Alright, well, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead now and move on to stone number 3. Alright, so here we are with stone number 3 with the heart-shaped rose quartz, and let's go ahead and find out if the answer to your question is yes or no. Alright, so is the answer to stone number 3's question yes or no? Please tell me, is the answer to stone number 3's question yes or no? Please tell me, is the answer to stone number 3's question yes or no? The answer to stone number 3's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 3's question yes or no? Well, that hardly ever happens. Alright, so the answer is no. Alright, so we have the 8 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords in the reverse, the Queen of Cups in the reverse, the 5 of Swords in the reverse, and the Ace of Wands. So we have the 8 of Pentacles. And the 8 of Pentacles is a Virgo card. And the 8 of Pentacles is about working and like making progress, meaningful work, precision, commitment, stocking up, repetition. Someone who is working like diligently and happily on a project. You know, as someone who is like, it's a card of like nearing mastery or maintaining effort and focus until the end. So someone who's really working really hard. So you have the Ace of Swords in the reverse. And the Ace of Swords is really just like any air sign. It could be any air sign. And it can indicate like misunderstanding, lies, confusion, denial, and difficult communication. It can usually like it could be like a warning to either slow down or to back away from a situation. The card can come up when the truth is not clear, that you may be misunderstanding the situation or someone else's position. It may also appear reversed when you've withdrawn from a battle or when it would be wise to do so. Alright, and then we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. And the Queen of Cups is a Cancer Gemini card, and it is about like there being a lack of emotional boundaries, taking up or taking on other people's pain like you do. If you're empathic, you're taking on other people's pain. Someone who is moody and vulnerable. Okay? Like you can, like when I'm saying like taking up others' pain, like it's like their emotional boundaries may be really weak, and they may find themselves so entangled with like someone else's emotions that they cannot discriminate which feelings are theirs and the other person's. This card can also indicate like someone who gives excessively, pleasing others at a cost to their personal wellness. All right, and then we have the Five of Swords in the reverse. And the Five of Swords in the reverse is a... Yeah, that's an Aquarius card. And the Five of Swords in the reverse can indicate resolutions, apologies, like assessing the damage and debriefing and mediation. Okay, it comes up when like there's battles and disagreements, and the Five of Swords reverse indicates like the time after the fighting. Okay, like this, like the time of after conflict is ideal for reflecting on what happened and realize what happened, like triggered the problem. Like, so it's kind of like a reflecting on what happened after the battle as well. All right, and then we have the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands can represent any fire sign. And the Ace of Wands is about a birth, like birth, energy, inspiration, sexuality, self-image. Like it can come up when like looking for a new opportunity, like there could be a new opportunity. It's like a seed. With all the aces, there's like a seed that needs to be nourished. If you don't, they can also, die out. So it can indicate like a new bright idea, a burst of creative energy, or a source of inspiration, excitement, enthusiasm, and energy for something new. Okay. All right, so anyways, that's all I have for stone number 3. If you like this kind of reading, please give my video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you would like to have a private reading, you can see how to do that in the video description below. All right, well, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead now and move on to stone number 4. All right, so here we have stone number 4 with the heart-shaped aventurine, and let's find out if the answer to your question is yes or no. All right, so please tell me, is the answer to stone number 4's question yes or no? Please tell me, is the answer to stone number 4's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 4's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 4's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 4's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 4's question yes or no? So the answer is no. All right, so we have the Fool in the reverse, the 3 of Pentacles, the 7 of Wands in the reverse, the 5 of Swords, and the 9 of Cups in the reverse. So we have the Fool in the reverse, and the Fool in the reverse can indicate trust. I mean, like being foolish, naive, recklessness, being closed-minded, being just like distrustful. Like it's like an urge to like look at things like a relationship with limits. But on like one hand, you may be limiting yourself and being in your potential by never taking risks, like being afraid, like assuming that every possible path before you is gonna like suck or something, or be a certain way without ever trying it out. Like you or the other person or whoever you're asking about, it could be like they could be thinking, I already know what will happen if I do that, so why even try? That kind of thing. But also, the Fool in reverse could urge you to act with more constraint, like so holding back. Also can indicate being so in love with adventure and newness that you are bypassing opportunities to commit and grow in any one area. And that is an Aquarius card. Then we have the 3 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Pentacles, I think, is a Capricorn card. Yep, it's a Capricorn card. All right, and the Three of Pentacles is a card about like assistance, contribution, mentors, planning, teamwork, employment, like collaboration. When this card shows up, it's in a reading, it's like the project is beginning to manifest. Like people are coming together to make something happen. It's like the foundation of being like is being poured for like a new house or a new project or whatever it is that is going to be happening. So the intentions that the person you or the other person has been sent into the universe and are beginning to come into fruition, which is very interesting. And then we have the Seven of Wands in the reverse. And the Seven of Wands in the reverse is a Leo card. And the Seven of Wands in the reverse is like when you're kind of like, when it's upright, it's like you're fighting, you're standing up for what you believe in, and you have the high ground, you know. And the reverse is like backing down and feeling powerless and fighting, and could indicate like fighting for the wrong thing. It's like it appears when like this card appears like in the reverse when there's like difficulty or trouble with standing up for what you believe in. Or sometimes some people may even back down, you know, just trying to kind of smooth things over, you know, just so there's not any conflict, even though, you know, I hope that makes sense. But you know how people sometimes they don't want to have a fight or something like that, so they kind of back down because they don't want to deal with any negativity. Then we have the Five of Swords, and this is an Aquarius card. And the Five of Swords is about defeat, self-defeat, arguments, being like irritability, and feeling attacked. Okay, when this card appears, it's time to ask yourself if what you're fighting for is worth it. Like, you could be, you know, you could win for now, but at what cost? So there may be words you can never take back. An argument with someone, you may be clinging too tightly to an idea that is not actually that important in the bigger picture of life, hurting others in the process. Or maybe even like remaining in an unhealthy situation in order to prove that you're right. Like not really wanting to hear people say, I told you so. It's like when you got to ask yourself when this card comes, if winning may not be the most important thing right now. This card can indicate there could be a time when it may be necessary to hurt others through your words or actions in order to be true to yourself. And it can indicate like that you or the other person, whoever this is about, have been repeating patterns of what you or they know are dysfunctional and don't really align with your ideal self. And then we have the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Cups is a Pisces card, and this one's in the reverse. In the reverse, this card indicates disappointment, hedonism, being ungrateful, overindulgence, superficial, and envy. Okay, it can indicate disappointment or like smugness, and like someone could be feeling like emotionally empty despite efforts of, you can't really be happy until you like have what someone else has. It could be that the path that you're currently on could never bring the joy that you seek, or that you need to look for it elsewhere. Alternatively, happiness may be very close at hand, but you need to begin noticing all that you do have instead of what you lack. And it can also indicate that you're very happy, but you are using your happiness in ways to hurt others. Like being like so self-satisfied that you're not noticing the feelings of those around you. Or bragging, like your bragging and smugness may be very unappealing to those around you. So hopefully that helped you understand what your answer is to your question. Anyways, that's all I have for stone number 4. If you like this kind of reading, please give my video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you would like to have a private reading, you can see how to do that in the video description below. All right, well, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead now and move on to stone number 5. All right, so here we have stone number 5 with the round amethyst, and let's go ahead and find out what the answer is, if it's yes or no for your question. So I draw these in front of everybody so you can see them come out, and if they're upright or reversed, that's how we decide if the answer is yes or no. All right, so let's go ahead and find out. Let's see, is the answer to stone number 5's question yes or no? Please tell me if the answer to stone number 5's question is yes or no. Is the answer to stone number 5's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 5's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 5's question yes or no? So the answer is yes. Alright, so we have the Magician, Judgment, the Two of Wands, Death, and the Tower in the reverse. And I'm going to go ahead and say the signs and do everything a little bit different every time or whatever. So the Magician is Gemini, Virgo. The Judgment is Scorpio. The Two of Wands is Aries. Death is Scorpio. And the Tower is Aries. Those are the signs associated with the cards. So here we have the Magician. A lot of people know this one well. This is about personal power, intention, will, resourcefulness, manifesting, like intention to manifest things. Okay. This card just comes up when it's in a reading when you have the potential to make things happen. The key to taking control of your life is to have a vision and then take action to make it happen. Intention and action are both required. When your intentions and actions are aligned, real magic occurs. Then we have Judgment. And this card for me, it can indicate like a calling, like a divine calling. Okay, see how there's like an angel and the angel has a trumpet and they're blowing it, they're trying to call the people, and the people are like, oh wow, yay. All right, this card can indicate like a rite of passage, maturing, reviewing, and a transition. It could be like a card of drastic change, release, and review. Okay, like the current phase of life could be coming to an end, and then it's time to like look objectively at what has come before. Okay, and this change in this situation is unavoidable. Okay, and this can indicate, again, tuning into your higher calling to learn where you to go next. And then we have the Two of Wands in the reverse. And the Two of Wands in the reverse is like feeling hopelessness, lacking options, trouble getting started, and being unprepared. It can indicate being like stuck and like, or suddenly being able to move forward after being stuck. Because the Two of Wands is about like kind of trying to make a decision. You may feel forced to make a decision before you're ready when it's in the reversed. It could feel like being stuck because someone else seems to be limiting your options, or because you don't have the abilities or motivation to move forward. All right, and then we have Death. And Death is about, transformation, ending, closure, regeneration. Okay, death is a card of like ending before an utter transformation. It can be like a caterpillar and a cocoon on the verge of becoming a butterfly. Either way, it can indicate like closure. It could indicate like having to, someone might end a relationship. Or it can become, if the relationship's already over, it could also indicate, a regeneration of the relationship. And then we have the Tower in the reverse. And this card in the reverse can indicate like ongoing chaos. So like it could indicate like an ongoing like tower moments, like keep going on and on, like nothing is changing. So stubbornness, also a warning, and mounting pressure. Okay. So this can indicate, you know, the tower is weakened when it appears reversed, and some think it's strengthened, but it's actually weakened. But it's kind of like can indicate like kind of like a warning, so it could be a chance to make changes to avert a future disaster. So it is possible to maybe avert this, okay? Maybe to change this, okay? It can indicate like a small emergency. It can end up in reverse when you feel like ready to explode. Also can be advising you to shake things up deliberately because things are not working for you anymore. It can also be calling you for a huge purge, to take careful look at your belongings, habits, and thought patterns, and do things to like get rid of clutter and stuff like that. So anyways, that's all I have for stone number 5. If you like this kind of reading, please give my video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you would like to have a private reading, you can see how to do that in the video description below. All right, well, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead now and move on to stone number 6. All right, so here we have stone number 6 with the round green aventurine, and let's find out what the answer is to your question. All right, is the answer yes or no? Please tell me, is the answer to stone number 6's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 6's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 6's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 6's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 6's question yes or no? All right, so the answer is no. All right, so we have the 9 of Swords. This is a Gemini card, I believe. I want to say Gemini. Yeah. Then we have the 2 of Cups. This is a Cancer card. The Emperor, which is an Aries card. The King of Swords, which is Aquarius Capricorn in the reverse. Then we have the 5 of Wands, which is a Leo card. All right, so we have the 9 of Swords. And the 9 of Swords is about like anxiety. It's just like, it's almost the same as when it's upright. So it's like worrying, anxiety, insomnia, repressed thoughts. However, when it's in the reverse, it's like self-destructive thoughts, and but you're getting to the root of the worry, and also indicates like doing shadow work. Okay. So it's like, it appears reversed when fear and anxiety should be noticed and dealt with. Also can show up when you're like denying your inner voice telling you there's something to worry about. All right, and then we have the 2 of Cups in the reverse. And the 2 of Cups in the reverse can indicate an unbalanced relationship, like a balancing inner masculine and feminine energy. Difficulty relating, an unequal relationship, no relationship. Also, it can be like, it can indicate disharmony among lovers or friends. It can indicate something as small as an argument or something as serious as a divorce. All right, and then we have the Emperor. And the Emperor in the upright is like, it's like power, structure, stability, authority. It could indicate a father. The Emperor appears, it's like a time to think logically and rationally about your situation. Also can indicate having a position of leadership and using your like intellect to make the best decision for your team. It can urge you to increase the stability in your life, or like your father or a father figure may be relevant in the situation. All Alright, and then we have the King of Swords in the reverse. And the King of Swords in the reverse is someone who is like intimidating, forceful, controlling, who lacks compassion, cold-hearted. And the King of Swords in the reverse can advise to like check your facts and examine your motivations carefully. It can represent someone who's like bending the truth or ignoring facts in order to serve their own purpose. It can indicate, it can show up when they're like, you cannot think clearly. They're being berated by others' opinions, that someone is intentionally misleading you. It can also indicate reverse when like cruel words or harsh criticism are an issue. Like someone who is being like talking to you like that. So, but also, this card could appear, and when it does appear, you could have to like beware of being manipulated or conned. If something is too good to be true, it probably is. And then we have the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is about there being conflict, competition, brainstorming, and problems to solve. It appears you can expect a conflict of some sort. It could be an internal or an external conflict, so someone could be internally conflicted or externally, so it could actually show up when there's like a clashing of personalities, arguments, even like as little as like petty hassles. It can also represent like friendly competition, like when you play games and stuff. Okay, and that's all we have for stone number 6. If you like this kind of reading, please give my video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you would like to have a private reading, you can see how to do that in the video description below. Alright, well, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead now and move on to stone number 7. Alright, so here we are with stone number 7 with the lapis lazuli, the round shaped one. And let's go ahead and find out what the answer is to your question. Alright, so please tell me, is the answer to stone number 7's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 7's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 7's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 7's question yes or no? Ooh. Is the answer to stone number 7's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 7's question yes or no? So the answer to your question is yes. Let's see, we have the Ten of Swords in the reverse, the Lovers, Judgment, the World in the reverse, and the Nine of Pentacles. Wow. Alright, so we have the Ten of Swords in the reverse, which is Gemini. This is a Gemini card. This one's Scorpio card, the Judgment. The World is Capricorn, and the Nine of Pentacles is Virgo. So the Ten of Swords in the reverse is kind of like, it can indicate kind of clinging to something hopeless, but also can indicate like a fresh start, a recovery, or even a relapse. It can appear reversed when it's time for a fresh start, when you can't really accept things for the way they are anymore, and it's time to stop thinking about how you would like things to be different and start actually taking action. It could indicate like a huge sense of relief after a time of stress too. like a huge weight has been lifted. All right, and then we have the Lovers, which everybody loves. This card also can indicate a soulmate. Also, love, union, cooperation, choice, and sexuality. When you see this card, and you can ask yourself if your head and your heart are united. This card can indicate a decision that needs to be made. You may have to choose between like a love interest and another thing, like your career or a family or something, or even between two different love interests. Also, this can show up when you just want to celebrate love in all of its forms: passion, friendship, caring, spiritual devotion, and self-love. Then we have Judgment. And Judgment is about like a rite of passage, maturing, reviewing, and transition. It can indicate like a card of like drastic changes and release and review. Like the current phase of your life could be coming to an end. It's time to kind of like take stock and look at everything, look objectively at everything that has happened, and like kind of learn, like try to like assess the lessons that you had learned. And it can indicate that change is unavoidable, and benefiting by being accountable for your choices and behavior, and be honest with yourself. And also can indicate tuning into your higher calling. Also, like for me, like that indicates the divine too. So like maybe you might be having a calling actually from God or something like that. In my opinion, I've seen this card come up for that reason. All right, then we have the World in the reverse. And the World in the reverse is about it can indicate being overwhelmed, having a difficulty like completing something. It can indicate being like clinging to past successes. But this can show up when there's like unfinished business, being unable to finish something. But it also could be like a situation where someone lacks the resources necessary to finish a project. You know, so it gets like very close to completion only to be like disappointed. Also, maybe that you have accomplished something, but when you compare your accomplishment to that of someone else, your esteem is diminished, like bleh. Then finally, it can show up reversed when you're clinging to a past victory in order to delay moving on to the next thing. All right, then we have the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is about like earned luxury, earned rewards, fruits of your labor, luxury, self-sufficiency, being disciplined, being independent. You know, it's someone who is very disciplined and got, you know, the rewards by being self-disciplined and controlling their behavior, like how they tamed this bird on their arm. That's how they tamed their inner self. Someone who's taking charge of their own future. It can indicate craving more independence. Also, it can indicate, you know, that could also be telling you that you give off the impression of not needing anyone else, or it could represent someone else that gives off that impression. All right, so anyways, that's all I have for stone number 7. If you like this kind of reading, please give my video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you would like to have a private reading, you can see how to do that in the video description below. All right, well, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead now and move on to stone number 8. All right, so here we have stone number 8 with a clear quartz, the round clear quartz crystal. And let's go ahead and find out if the answer to your question is yes or no. Please tell me, is the answer to stone number 8's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 8's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 8's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 8's question yes or no? Is the answer answer to stone number 8's question yes or no? Is the answer to stone number 8's question yes or no? Hang on, I'm going to shuffle it one more time. Run out of cards. Is the answer to stone number 8's question yes or no? So it's yes. Alright. So we have the 10 of Wands in the reverse, the Hermit, the 7 of Wands, the King of Swords in the reverse, and the Hanged Man. And the 10 of Wands is a Sagittarius card, the Hermit is Virgo, the 7 of Wands is Leo, the King of Swords is Aquarius, Capricorn, and the Hanged Man is Pisces. So the 10 of Wands, when it's in the reverse, can indicate like feeling like a martyr, feeling like you're kind of doing everything all alone. It can indicate someone who is busy, like doing busy work, procrastination, and having the wrong priorities. It could indicate like struggling with responsibilities, and also you may be putting off work, causing it to pile up. Also, this card could be showing up, signaling a time of great relief. You may have found others to help lighten your load, or at least started reaching out for help. Something like that. And then we have the Hermit. And the Hermit is about solitude and introspection, perspective, wisdom, and guidance. Okay, the Hermit indicates a need for or desire to withdraw from the world. He's a wise old man who has learned much about himself and his world through deep introspection and meditation. When you see this card, it could indicate like your soul may be craving a retreat in order to replenish and restore. Okay, also the answers you seek will be found within you, not in any book or on any website or anything like that. Also, the Hermit may also be advising you to seek the guidance of a wise counselor or a mentor. Then we have the 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands is about defending what matters, threat, perseverance. This is a card that appears when like you have to be prepared to take a stand for what you believe in. But also, you have to remember, you could see this person is fighting from the high ground, so they have a better stance and they're most likely to win. When you see this card, you have to ask yourself what you truly believe. Okay? And if you're confident in what you believe in, you don't back down. But it could indicate like big forces at work against you. For example, like, I don't know, societal expectations and competition, lack of faith in yourselves, things like that. Then we have the King of Swords in the reverse. And the King of Swords in the reverse can indicate someone who is intimidating, forceful, controlling, someone who lacks compassion and is cold-hearted. It can appear reversed when you're being advised to check your facts and examine your motivation carefully. It can indicate someone who's bending the truth or ignoring facts in order to serve their own purpose. Also, this card can appear, you have to be aware of being manipulated or conned. Also, it can show up when cruel words or harsh criticism are a problem. Then we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is like surrender, new perspective, waiting, sacrifice, and release. It's a card of like patience, contemplation, and sacrifice. It's like letting go. A sacrifice may be required in order to move forward. And also it can indicate like it being time to get in touch with the spiritual aspects of yourself. Because he's hanging upside down trying to look at the world with a new perspective, and he has a halo around his head because he's trying to gain enlightenment by doing that. Anyways, that's all I have for stone number 8. If you like this kind of reading, please give my video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it and it really helps me out. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you would like to have a private reading, you can see how to do that in the video description below. Alright, well, thank you very much, and I hope you all have a wonderful day or night. God bless.